היי, היי, חד, חד. כן, בסדר. חד, חד, חד. עכשיו בסדר? היי, 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 היי. היי, 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 היי. שומע? עמום? בוא אני אעשה לך EQ קצת, תגיד לי אם יותר טוב. חכה שנייה. רגע, אני אעשה לך EQ, חכה. עכשיו אתה לא שומע אותי? מה לא? איך אתה לא שומע? אני משדר אליך. היי, 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 היי. עכשיו אתה שומע? היי, 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 היי. חד, 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 היי, היי. אז בוא תגיד לי מה זה עמוד, בוא נעשה לך צה, היי, היי, היי. חד, חד, חד. היי, 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 היי. היי.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to each and every one of you who's joined us today. My name is Kathleen Nichols. I am a consecrated woman of Regnum Christi. Just about 9 weeks ago, I was assigned here to Magdala to assist Father Juan here with some of the beautiful spiritual programs that Magdala offers and hopes to multiply and offer more of. So thank you for coming to the formal inauguration of Magdala. It's truly a crossroads of Jewish and Christian culture. It is deeply moving to have so many of you here present with us and to share this great moment. I'm here together with Father Eamon.
My name is Father Eamon Kelly. I have been blessed to live here for almost 13 years in the Holy Land. It is exciting to reach this moment after so much effort and so much blessing poured out from Providence. It is literally impossible for us to thank as we should each and every one of you by name, as we would like, and it is merited. For this, please accept our apologies. Maybe you're also grateful because you would never leave us in. But we know that all in all is thanks to all of you cooperating with God's providence that this day was made possible.
Our Magdala family here would like to extend a special welcome to many of you. Many thanks to our Archbishop of Mexico's Eminence, Reverend Cardinal Carlos Aguilar Retes. Thank you so much for coming. It was very special for us to have you celebrate the most significant moment of our inauguration in the Mass today. So thank you very much. The most beautiful moment. This is almost secondary. Also, we want to welcome our Apostolic Nuncio to Israel, His Excellency Archbishop Leopoldo Girelli. We would like to also welcome the Apostolic Administrator for the Patriarchate of Jerusalem for the Latins, Archbishop Pierbattista Pizzaballa. We have the Vicar General of the Patriarchate of Jerusalem for the Latins, Bishop Giunto Marcuzzo. Welcome to the Archbishop of the Greek Malachite Catholic Archeparchy of Akko, Most Reverend Joseph Mata, Bishop of Galilee. Thank you for joining us. We would also like to welcome the Patriarchal Vicar of the Greek Malachite Catholic Patriarchate of Jerusalem, Archbishop Emeritus Most Reverend Yasir Al-Ayash. Welcome. We would also like to extend a special welcome to our General Director of the Legionaries of Christ and President of the General Directive College of the Regnum Christi Federation, Reverend Father Eduardo Robles Gil.
We would like to greet all the bishops, priests, religious, consecrated men and women who have joined us today, our dear friends, our brothers and sisters in the Lord. We extend a particularly warm welcome to the benefactors of Magdala, as well as to the local government officials who have joined us for this formal inauguration. The Mayor of Migdal, Nathanial Alfasi, and his spouse. The Israeli Antiquities Authority Chairman, Israel Hassan. Dr. Pedro Blanco Pérez, the representative of Mexico for the Palestinian authorities. Mr. Rodrigo Fernandez, the Chilean ambassador to Israel. And also I would like to mention Brother Peter Bray, the Vice Chancellor of Bethlehem University. And Dr. Don Bender, the chaplain for the Anglican Archbishop of Jerusalem.
As we gather here together, we think it's very important to hear some words of reflection from His Excellency Archbishop Pierbattista Pizzaballa on this very special day.
Thank you. First of all, sorry, my voice today is not very strong. First of all, I want to express my appreciation in the name of the Church of Jerusalem for this beautiful gathering and also for the opening of this center. I remember what it was years ago, very abandoned piece of land. Now we see, first of all, we see the archaeological ruins and also remainings, and also this beautiful center. For us Christians, it's very important. We express our presence here in Holy Land through our institutions and our activities. So to open, maybe it's not popular what I'm saying, but sometimes we have also to express our strength through our institutions, and this is important also for our small numbers to see these beautiful activities. I was asked insistently by Father Solana to talk about the hospitality, for the meaning of the hospitality for the Church of Jerusalem. Before talking about the church, we think we have to start from Jesus. Jesus was not a simple person, not easy person. What he did was always out of the scheme, out of the politically correct ideas of the time. He, as we heard also in the liturgy, was used to meet the elderly, the sinners, the lepers. All what was forbidden, he did, almost all. So it was not a very ordinary people. But through his teachings, through especially the gestures and the parables, Jesus taught us a very important aspect of our life, that we meet God in the proximity to the others. Going to the other, meeting the other, we meet Jesus. In Jesus, we meet God. The proximity is essential to the Christian life. It's constitutive of the Christian life. The subject of the Christian life is not I, but you. We start always from you. The attention is to you. So, and this is what we Christians and the Church of the Land is trying to do here. And all our activities are always created for the other. Schools, hospitals, house for disabled, and a lot of activities where the center is the attention to the other, especially the most weak ones. And one of the aspects of the life of our church, the Church of Jerusalem, is the pilgrimage. The Church of the Holy Land is the church that custodies the memory of the birth, life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. So this is our first mission. Without place, there is no event. We are the custodians of the event, of the history of the revelation. And this is a very important aspect of our life, of our mission as Christians. So we have pilgrims and Christians coming from all over the world just to meet here through the stones and through the communities they meet, to make experience of Jesus. So the pilgrimage is constitutive of the life of the church, of the identity of the Church of the Holy Land. And I'm thinking nowadays we have millions of Christians coming from all over the world. And so it is also a way according to which we Christians contribute to the life of the country, where Christians, Muslims, and Jews together are working in these activities very important. And I like also to stress that the pilgrimage, the hospitality, and this aspect of identity of our church is universal. Universal doesn't mean that it's open to all the countries of the world, as we are seeing in these days, from China, Indonesia to Latin America. Not all the continents are present here, but also because it's open to all the faith and all the Christian communities. It's not just for Catholics, it's not just for Christians. Our houses are open to everyone, without distinction. So, and especially at the time of Jesus, the borders between the communities were very strict. Jews, non-Jews, sinners, not sinners. Jesus broke all these borders. He met Jews and not Jews, sinners and not sinners, and so on. So it is important for us Christians, it is constitutive for our idea of pilgrimage not to have borders or limits, to be open to everyone, to be really universal as we should be. We have hundreds of communities here. In our diocese, we have more than 40 different male congregations and more than 70 women congregations with a lot of activities everywhere. One aspect very stable in all this congregation is the hospitality to the pilgrims. Of course, the Franciscans have a special role because of the historical role they have, but together, beside the Franciscan, we have many other religious institutions who are working in the hospitality and pilgrimage. So this is another aspect of universality. It's not just given to one, but to all the different charisms present in our church. So, and the hospitality now, these places are becoming even more important given the new reality. We are, as I said, we are seeing millions of pilgrims, Christians and non-Christians, and sometimes to find space and time to pray in our sites has become very difficult. So these places where the place of Christian hospitality are very important because they should become place of welcome, where people have time to pray, also to meet someone ready to listen to them, place where we can reconcile and to have space to reflect and think about what the experience they are living. So it's very important place. Conclusion, I cannot imagine the Church of Holy Land without the activity for pilgrims. If we try to imagine, remove all the activities for pilgrims, our church remains small church and very closed. So the activity, and we cannot say that the activity for pilgrims is a foreign activity to foreign, but is constitutive of the identity of our church, and what you are doing belongs to our church. You are totally and completely part of our church. So together with my thanks for this new activity, also I address my prayer to you, Father Juan, and to the Legionaries of Christ who opened this new structure today, and to them, to all the operators in the pilgrimage. Remain a place open to all, Christians and non-Christians, pilgrims and locals, not to restrict, to be able, as Jesus did, to exceed in trust, to trust, not to be too suspicious in this land where the borders are so strict, to trust all. You are, as House of Hospitality, you are the visiting card of the church. What you do is considered done by the Church of Jerusalem. So it is a big responsibility. But at the same time, and because of that, you are also the first one called to give the testimony and bear witness of the faith you have and to give testimony of the risen Lord. So my presence, my wish is that your presence will become announcement of freedom. This place become a place of evangelization where people can find life encounter with the risen one. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Archbishop Pizzaballa, for this inspiring and very realistic message and the reality of the hospitality service in the Holy Land. Now it is my honor to welcome the Mayor of Migdal, and he will welcome us here, and also his words will be in Hebrew and translated by Svetlana.
צהריים טובים לכולם, ברוכים הבאים לכל האורחים. ברשות פאדר ג'ון, ברשות ידידי היקר אלון וינטר המנכ"ל, שעבד פה לילות כימים, במיוחד בשנה האחרונה להריץ פה את המקום הזה. אין ספק.
Hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome. I would like to say thank you and good work for Mr. Alon Winter, who's worked very hard in the past year, and also Father John, who worked very, very hard to bring us all to this day.
על זה דוד המלך אמר על המקום הזה, הזורעים בדמעה ברינה יקצורו. פה, כשהתחילו את העבודות, הדרך הייתה מאוד ארוכה, כשנתקלו פה בנושא של העתיקות, אבל כנראה שמהשמיים כיוונו, שזכו פה החופרים ובעלי המקום, שנמצא פה במקום הזה עיר יהודית עתיקה לפני 2000 שנה.
And on this place, King David said, "Those who work hard may take the fruit." I'm sorry if I'm not being completely accurate. And we have been very blessed to find, after 2,000 years, a Jewish city right here, kept for all these years.
היה פה עמל רב, גם אני רוצה להודות בהזדמנות הזאת לרשות העתיקות, למשרד התיירות, ולכל העוסקים במלאכה. לא פשוט.
I would like to thank all those who worked very hard to bring us all to this day.
היום נבנו פה בערך כ-170 חדרים, ואני כבר רואה את הצורך להגדלה לעוד 100 חדרים, שאנחנו בעזרת השם נעזור בנושא הזה.
Today we opened 170 rooms, and I already see the need for another 100, which we would, with God blessing, do, and will of course bring all the people that want to come here and see this place, and do our best.
יחד עם זאת, אנחנו לוקחים בחשבון גם כן את הפיתוח הסביבתי שמחוץ למלון, לדרכי גישה. יש תוכנית לעשות דרך גישה ישירות למרון מכביש 90. אני מקווה שיאשרו לנו אותה.
There is also a plan to develop the area and to develop a direct road to this hotel, which we hope that will be confirmed soon, and so it will be much simpler to get to the hotel.
וזאת תוך התחשבות, ואנחנו לוקחים בחשבון את המרכז המבקרים הגדול שאתם אמורים להמשיך ולבנות.
We also take under consideration the Magdala archaeology site that also needs to be accessible for all those who would like to visit as well.
אין ספק שהמקום הזה, מלבד המלון, שיש פה את כל האתר הגדול של העתיקות, שהמקום הזה ימשוך מאות אלפי מבקרים בשנה מכל העולם.
We are certain that this hotel and this archaeologist site will draw more and more visitors each coming year, and more people will be able to come here and visit this place.
ואני מאוד שמחתי לשמוע את כבוד הדובר שדיבר לפניי, שהמקום הזה יהיה פתוח לכולם, לכל הדתות, לכל התושבים, מכל המקומות, שישרת ממש גם א', את תושבי המדינה שלנו, ב', את האורחים מכל העולם.
I was very pleased to hear that this hotel and this place will be open to all religions, all people that would like to visit with no difference between religion, sex, or any kind.
אני בטוח שזה יום חג בשבילכם, בשביל כל אלה שעמלו וטרחו להקים את הדבר. זה לא רק בית מלון, זה מקום גם מפואר, הושקע פה הרבה. אני בטוח שהמקום הזה ייתן מענה, וזה יום חג לא רק לכם, אלא למגדל, גם כן ליישוב מגדל, למועצה שלנו, וגם לכל אזור הצפון כולו.
I am sure that this is a festive day. Today is a holiday. Today is a day that a lot of people who worked very hard to come here today and to see this hotel and this site opens and available to all the people around the world that want to come here and visit. And I am very happy to say that this is a celebration not only for me, but for the local city hall, sorry. And it's a celebration to us all.
בימים אלה יש תוכניות לעוד בתי מלון של עוד 1,200 חדרים באזור שלנו, שאמורים לאשר אותם ולהתחיל בבנייה שלהם, כך שהאזור הזה הולך להיות חבל ארץ מאוד מאוד מיוחד.
There's a lot of development plans going on and through that we are planning on to make this area a very visited area, a very accessible area to draw visitors from all over Israel and the world to come here. We are planning to build even more hotels and places to stay at this area to become a very important.
ולסיום, אני רוצה לברך את כל העוסקים במלאכה ולהודות לכולם, לכל המנהלים, לכל האדריכלים, לחברים במועצה שעזרו וסייעו על השיתוף פעולה יחד איתכם, שאני מאמין בשיתוף פעולה פורה ושיתוף פעולה מלא. יש לכם מצד המועצה את כל העזרה והסיוע שתצטרכו, אנחנו לרשותכם, ובלסיום אני אומר לכם מזל טוב.
I would like to congratulate and say thank you once more to all those who helped build this place and get here. All the managers, architects, and all the people in the city hall who worked very hard to come here today and to be able to give us this opening and this celebration of a brand new hotel in the Magdala site. Mazal tov.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alfasi. And now, I would like to introduce the Ensemble Phoenix, a multifaceted ensemble. It's founded and directed by cellist Dr. Mirna Herzog with us today. And she has a beautiful philosophy to use early instruments, as you can see some of them playing, to bring alive different cultures that we've already seen today. And these different cultures and times are to help build bridges among people to create beauty and harmony. That's the goal of all of us. So famous for their Baroque programs, they're going to interpret in this moment the Chiar Oscuro Minuet by Haydn and Boccherini. Oh, thank you. That was just beautiful. Just beautiful. And to continue with this afternoon, we would like to invite one of our benefactors who represents all of you who have helped with this project. I would like to invite up to address us Mrs. María del Carmen Pérez Villota, wife of the late Mr. Eduardo Sanchez Junco, who was our first benefactor here at Magdala. Mrs. Junco.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is a very special day, the inauguration of Magdala and the excitement of that has brought flooding back to me memories of those unforgettable days in May 2005 when Father Juan and my family met right here in the grounds of Hawaii Beach and dreamt of what could be. Father Juan says that Eduardo, my husband, was the hook that caught him, convincing him to follow his dream. Today, we see how he has turned that dream into reality, creating a focus for faith, a meeting place for pilgrims from all over the world. Father Juan María Solana is the fisherman who has admirably reeled in this magnificent fish. And God himself, by a miracle, has gifted us with an ancient synagogue hidden under the earth for 2,000 years as the foundation of a new holy site. Since it is situated in the birthplace of Mary Magdalene, the first woman to whom our Lord appeared after his resurrection, it has been dedicated especially to all those women who love, serve, and accompany the Lord as pillars of the church. Today, I want to give a warm welcome to all the benefactors who have come from near and far to share in this marvelous moment. Thank you so much for being here with us today. There are also with us today those who are in heaven, interceding for us there to make of Magdala a great lighthouse in the Sea of Galilee, whose rays will illuminate the universe with the light of God. Many thanks, Father Juan, for inviting us all, especially for inviting my family to take part in this exceptional and glorious day. And many thanks to all those who have helped to make it possible. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Mil gracias, María del Carmen, por estas palabras maravillosas. Now I would like to invite Archbishop Leopoldo Girelli, the papal nuncio to Israel, to address us.
First of all, I would like, on this special occasion, a very special occasion, to extend to all of you here present, especially to the Legionaries of Christ, the greetings and the blessings of Holy Father Pope Francis, who is now in Japan, as you know. Your Eminence, Cardinal Carlos Aguiar, dear Bishop Pierbattista Pizzaballa, Honorable Mayor of Migdal, dear benefactors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. For us Christians, who is Mary Magdalene? She is one of the most famous Galilean women who supported Jesus and his disciples. She was from this neighborhood, known as a fishing center. Thanks to the Legionaries of Christ and the inauguration of this new guest house, the name Migdal will become more and more known, not only in Israel, but also all over the world, as a crossroad of Jewish and Christian history. Besides the Blessed Virgin Mary, Mother of God, for Christians, Mary from Magdala is one of the most impressive feminine figures in the Gospel. In the list of women following Jesus, she is always mentioned first. She is a woman transformed by the encounter with Jesus, a tireless seeker of the Lord, and an extraordinary witness of the risen Christ. Mary was first and foremost a woman tormented by evil. Jesus had to expel 7 demons from her. She was freed from an invasive demonic power which made her life horrible and unhappy. And the encounter with the Master liberated her from the power of evil, and her experience was radically changed. Evil can win sometimes, but it cannot win always. Mercy prevails. And the traditional image of the repentant Magdalene recalls us that it is always possible to change one's life. Mary Magdalene was also a tireless seeker of the Lord. Even after the death and burial of Jesus, she was still looking for him and missing him. The Magdalene is the model of all true seekers of God. She was so fascinated by the words and wonders of Jesus that she never gave up in following him. May the Christians visiting this site strengthen their faith by following the Lord, and may the Jews visiting the archaeological site of this ancient synagogue find the path to reach the Church of Jesus Christ and hear his divine words proclaimed 2,000 years ago on the shore of the Sea of Galilee. On June the 3rd, 2016, Pope Francis declared Mary Magdalene the Apostle of the Apostles. She deserves this title, being the first one who went to the tomb and witnessed the resurrection of Jesus Christ. The moving scene of the risen Lord asking her, "Noli me tangere, don't touch me," reminds us, by contrast, the event narrated in the Gospel of Mark about the healing of the bleeding woman, so well portrayed in the canvas of this church script. The touching of Jesus' cloak was therapeutic for the bleeding woman. Instead, the risen Christ asked Magdalene not to touch him, because from then on, it is the mystical body of Jesus that should be recognized and touched. The saving power of Jesus is present now in the Church and in the Eucharist. So Mary from Magdala was the first among the disciples to meet the risen Lord, and this new religious center is the first in the Holy Land to witness the importance and dignity of women in the life of the Church and of the society. It is my fervent wish that this shrine and guest house may offer to the pilgrims the opportunity to renew their Christian commitment and to become effective witnesses of the risen Lord. May God bless you, bless the pilgrims, and bless this guest house. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Archbishop Girelli. Now we would like to offer a second musical piece by our ensemble. They will interpret for us the flute quintet in D major, Allegro assai and Minuetto amoroso, again by Haydn and Boccherini. What an exquisite double treat. Just brings beauty to the ears. Now, I would like to invite all of us to make an exercise in memory. We're going to remember a little bit visually of this path that many of our speakers and this Mass today has brought us to think about in our minds and hearts. So we will watch a commemorative video that recalls the moments, the most important moments here in the foundation of this beautiful work of Magdala.
Magdala, ahí está las ruinas y ahí vamos a ir.
I think we are now in one of the most exciting places in the Holy Land because there is an old town more than 2,000 years old that is still to be excavated. So they are just starting and digging here and there, but we don't know really what we will find. The surprise of the archaeology was very big, I have to confess. The project grew up quite a bit. I have so many anecdotes that happened during this period of time, many years, many people, many events, lots of processes. I felt all the time very much the presence of God. I felt divine providence at work in an amazing, amazing way. Many people had expressed that they feel in Magdala an encounter. Encounter in the Holy Land means a lot. You encounter the Bible becomes alive. You encounter the Gospels. Everything you see around Magdala, around the Sea of Galilee, in all of Galilee, was somehow drawn by Jesus in the Gospels. All of these things together, archaeology, spirituality, art, nature, volunteers, priests, consecrated, and the visitors themselves, because they meet, they mingle sometimes. And this makes from Magdala a very interesting place for an encounter. We realized that we were ministering to a very important place for all Christians and for Jewish as well, and could not be another simple place, but had to be something, I would say, special, if not extraordinary.
And that applause in great part is also due to God's providence and Father Juan, but especially for the technical presentation to Felipe Arcia, who is a volunteer from Colombia. Thank you, Felipe. Muchas gracias, Felipe, from Colombia. Maria Carmen brought another element to our consideration about the people looking from heaven. And I think we will have to wait to get there to see the full story of Magdala. But for now, it's in the heart of a priest who carries in his person the lion's share of the history file of Magdala with all its tears and joys. Father Juan, we all want to hear you now.
On the shores of the Sea of Galilee, the Galilee seashore bears witness to the most significant moments of Jesus' public ministry stirring up love in the heart and soul of those who gaze out over the waters with eyes of faith. Here Jesus said, "Come, follow me." Here also Peter was asked 3 times, "Do you love me more than this?" On these shores, the perspective of the world and history were broadened in ways previously unimaginable. This happened for the town people of Magdala, of Tarichea. According with historian Flavius Josephus, who lived here for a time, Magdala exported their fish to the far reaches of the empire, even to Rome itself. Walking along these shores on November 16, 2004, God placed into my heart a desire to build a guest house for pilgrims. Fundraising, archaeology, architecture, and art ever crossed my mind back then, and I am so glad they didn't. There was one simple vision: create a place where pilgrims will feel welcome and at home. This spirit would be one of hospitality, personal encounter, and accompaniment. This inner compulsion I felt began just a week after arriving to the Holy Land. The mission I was given by my superiors was to direct the Pontifical Institute Notre Dame of Jerusalem Center, entrusted to the Legionaries of Christ by Pope John Paul II. At that time, I felt that creating a pilgrim center in the Galilee area would be a natural extension for the mission entrusted to us in Jerusalem. Shortly after receiving this inspiration, I began searching for land, and Father Pierbattista Pizzaballa, then custos of the Holy Land, gave me a heavenly tip about property on sale in the area of ancient Magdala, a place that had already had a special meaning for me and for my family. A property was called Hawaii Beach. Imagine. I will never forget that day. It was March 31st, 2005. From then on, I entrusted the Magdala project to St. Joseph of Nazareth. Just a few days later, my superior, the late Father Álvaro Corcuera, General Director of the Legionaries of Christ at that time, approved of the idea of building a pilgrim guest house in Galilee. However, he added just one condition: you are personally responsible for the entire project, start to finish. While the Church was transitioning from John Paul II's pontificate to that of Pope Benedict XVI, I embarked on this great adventure, being convinced that God would bless my efforts to make this dream come true. From then on, I was led down a fast-paced slalom run of hectic activity. Days of intense exertion became weeks, months, and these months eventually added up to 15 years. Years of presentations, conferences, trips, and meetings about the vision of Magdala. For me, these initial efforts are now drawing to a close because Magdala is entering a new phase. Looking back, it is impossible to adequately express the gratitude I feel towards those first benefactors of Magdala. I am indebted to all of you, not just because of your great financial support, but much more, especially because you dare to believe in my dreams. Thank you, Mr. Eduardo Sanchez Junco. Thank you, Mr. Roberto Plasencia, Mrs. Aida Elena Recio, Mrs. Malena Zapata, Mr. Antonino Fernandez, Mr. Tom Cousins, Mr. Scott Follett, and so many more. Here in the lobby, you can see the cornerstone that Pope Benedict XVI blessed during his visit to Notre Dame of Jerusalem in 2009, just as we were preparing to break ground in Magdala. The Pope asked me a prophetic question. What will you do if you find archaeology on the site? We began the archaeological investigation the following month before beginning construction as Israeli law requires. And almost immediately we uncovered this part of the ancient town you see before you. We started digging for a guest house and ended up with a first-century synagogue and fishing town. God's plans are truly amazing. I want to thank the Israeli Antiquities Authority for their support and sure guide for our work. I could never have anticipated that Providence had in store for us beneath the bungalows of Hawaii Beach, the ancient town of Magdala suspended in time, frozen in the second half of the 1st century CE. This is why we can dare to call Magdala a crossroads of Jewish and Christian history. For the Jewish people, the 1st century is defined as the important Second Temple period. For Christians, these years encompass the time of Jesus' life and preaching, and was the time where many of his very first followers gathered together. I would also like to thank the Anáhuac University of Mexico, represented here today by its rector, Father Cipriano Sanchez. Anáhuac has unconditionally supported our excavation work, providing the staff and equipment necessary for the dig, led by Professor and archaeologist Dr. Marcela Zapata Mesa. She directed a team of archaeologists and more than 1,000 volunteers over 4 years, all of whom played an essential role in the work. I think it is necessary to also highlight the accomplishments of some of the other key archaeologists who work on site, particularly those of Dina Gorni, Arfan Najjar, Rosaura Saez, Andrea Diaz, and Linda Manzanilla. A big thank you also to the many others who were involved in the excavation's expansion. Today's event takes me back to May 28, 2014, when Duc in Altum Center and the Magdala Archaeological Park were inaugurated and opened to the public. This coincided with Pope Francis' visit to the Holy Land, when he blessed the tabernacle we keep in Duc in Altum. Thousands of pilgrims began to visit the archaeological park from that date on. This encouraged us to move forward with the construction of the Pilgrim Guesthouse. We also began offering the first programs that were specific to Magdalene's missions statement, including several international consortiums promoting the dignity of women, courses for inner healing, Magda volunteer reunions, spiritual retreats, and ecumenical and interreligious meetings. Today's event also helped me to look to the future. In the next few years, we hope to open the Magdala Visitor Center with high-tech digital experiences and explanations of the site, its history, and its future. Opening another pilgrim lodge to allow more people to experience the place of Christ's public ministry is also one of our immediate goals, as well as to continue expansion of the archaeological park. Other events we plan to offer soon include forums promoting in-depth understanding of Judeo-Christian culture and biblical values for leaders of institutions and faith-based groups. Stepping even further into the future, the Legionaries of Christ and Regnum Christi movement in the Holy Land are already making plans to celebrate the great jubilee of the year 2033, celebrating 2,000 years of Christ's Paschal mystery. With this in mind, we have projects to expand the rooms of the Guesthouse at Notre Dame of Jerusalem, as well as creating a new visitor center there, making the most of the space in the current Notre Dame auditorium. It will focus on the final days of Jesus' life, his resurrection, and Pentecost. Speaking with you about these projects also gives me the opportunity to clarify the roles we play in stewarding Notre Dame and Magdala. The Pontifical Institute Notre Dame of Jerusalem Center belongs to the Vatican, who entrusted its management to the Legionaries of Christ, while Magdala, on the other hand, belongs to our congregation. At this point, I want to express my thanks particularly to our God and Lord, who entrusted this project to us during the most challenging years of our institution, guiding it, as the Bible says, with strong arm and powerful hand. To our intercessors, Mary, Joseph, and Mary Magdalene, to the popes, nuncios, and patriarchs of Jerusalem who have been an unwavering help, lending faith and credibility to this project. To the many people who have extended their brotherly advice to me through the years, and to those whose professional counsel were essential to this project's success, especially as it was taking its first steps forward. Thanks to Mr. Samir Abu Nassar, Sister Emanuela Verdecchia, Father Rino Rossi, Uri Messer, and Shlomit Susi. To the many workers who labor on the buildings during the progressive phases of construction, Juan Pablo Lankenau, Robert Caram, Rodolfo de la Garza, ECO of Mexico, and Eduardo Guerra. I want to extend a special thanks to the director of Proyecto of Spain, Eduardo Guerrero, and to their on-site leaders, Beatriz León, Alejandro Taboada, Ángeles Muñoz, and Gaby González, here present. I want to recognize with deep gratitude their highly professional dedication in these last stages of construction. Thank you also for the many other companies and workers represented here or personally present with us today. It is with warm affection that I also recognize Francesco and Carlo Giardino, architects who volunteered their professional skills almost 14 years ago, creating the first building design for Magdala. Thank you also for Mati Avshalomov. I especially want to recognize the contribution of Ranin, Nasim, and Shirin Naklek, for providing the unique and compelling design of the Duquin Altum Center. My thanks goes out to the many artists who have so beautifully communicated the spiritual and cultural richness of Magdala, including the work of Daniel Cariola, Gerardo Centeno, and Sofia Aspe. And I would like particularly highlight the deeply significant contribution and extraordinary work of Chilean artist María Jesús Ortiz de Fernández and her family, who exquisitely executed part of the Duquin Altum Center and the Magdala Guesthouse grounds. All of them are here present today. I want to also recognize the vital help provided by the Israeli Ministry of Tourism, who bestowed on us a grant for the development of Magdala, as well as the assistance given by the different ministers and general directors over these years. Thank you all, our friends and colleagues who are part of the hospitality sector, to the many hotel managers, tourist agents and guides who have had their eyes on Magdala's development over the years. Thank you very much. My dream for Magdala is that we keep unpacking the gift of God. I see this beautiful site playing a significant role in unveiling the feminine genius, serving as an ideal location for the proclamation of the kingdom of God, providing a model for the type of volunteer service that Mary Magdalene and the other women in the gospel embodied, following and serving Jesus from their own substance. Over the past 10 years, more than 3,000 volunteers from all over the world have come here, following in the footsteps of Mary Magdalene and imitating her style of service. Fostering dialogue and encounter between different cultures and religions with great respect for the dignity of each and every visitor to Magdala. This dream is symbolized by the boat altar in Duquin Altum, generously donated to Magdala by Mr. Manuel Diaz, who is also here present today with us. This boat altar represents the Church of Christ navigating through history, moving forward in faith, hope, and love. To all our dear benefactors, both living and deceased, to all of you who are able to join us today, and those who could not, thank you very much. The first time I visited Magdala, that morning of March 31st, 2005, I remember thinking, how will I ever be able to make this dream a reality? I didn't have even $5 in my pocket. Our Lord reminded me that many of the great hospitals, schools, cathedrals, universities, seminaries, missions, parishes, etc., had been built through the ages by you, his disciples, and all people of goodwill. Divine providence moves the hearts of generous people to make his works into realities. The Lord reminded me that the least of my worries should be money. He told me, focus on my children. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. I try to never forget any of you in my prayers or your generosity. But if I do, be sure that God never forgets. We are in the process of finishing a benefactor's avenue located outside in the pathway leading to Duc in Altum. This will allow visitors to remember and pray for our benefactors. Every contribution is and continues to be priceless. I remember Father Damian Reza sent me a small notebook from his parish in Toluca, Mexico, that I still cherish. Every page contains a name and donation offered to Magdala. The most memorable are those from poor children who gave 1 or 2 Mexican pesos. Each one of those pennies are the widow's mite that helped make this beautiful building so special today. I would like to end by thanking my brother Legionaries, my dear friends in Regnum Christi, and particularly the consecrated women and consecrated laymen of the movement who have shown their support for Magdala. Many have contributed directly to Magdala through their work here in the Holy Land. Your prayers and assistance have sustained me in so many ways through these intense years. I also appreciate the warm welcome you have always offered me during trips abroad, as well as the logistical assistance you have provided. I wish I could have mentioned by name the thousands more of you who have helped in so many ways, and I humbly ask your pardon if the time or circumstances of this event have made that impossible. Please be assured that I bring each and every one of you with me to prayer every day. I want to thank those friends and benefactors who have gone before us into heavenly glory, especially my parents, Angel and Amparo, from whom I received the gift of faith and an example of unconditional love. I extend today my personal welcome to all the staff who form part of this new project. I thank them for striving to make this guest house exemplary in hospitality, welcome, warmth, and respect. I want to recognize the new General Manager of Magdala, Mr. Alon Winter, through whom I offer to all the personnel here my deepest appreciation. All these years would have been impossible also without the support, generous support, and sacrifice support of all the staff from Notre Dame, and especially from Mr. Joseph Barakat, also here present. This is not written. I have had 2 teachers, particularly in the Holy Land, and the 2 of them are here present today. One who taught me how to care about a holy site, and one who taught me how to guide pilgrims, and they are Brother Rafael Dorado, Franciscan, here present, and Emilio Cusa, guide, who is also here present today. Thank you, Emilio. From the beginning, when I was inspired to begin this journey of faith, I knew this vision and project belonged not to me, but to the Lord and to all those He called to be part of it. It is with the same conviction, filled with trust and profound thanksgiving, that I renew my desire to obediently follow where God leads, and to continue to dedicate myself tirelessly to the needs of the pilgrims of the Holy Land. Now, with my heart overflowing with joy and happiness and emotion, I hand over the first fruits of this work of God to our General Director, who is here present today, Father Eduardo Robles Gil. May God bless you all, and Duc in altum. Esto es para mí, para después.
Thank you so much, Father Juan. And I think most of you have your champagne glasses in hand. So you can keep a hold of those as we have Father Eduardo Robles Gil pronounce the formal words of inauguration, and then we will invite everyone to come up and cut the ribbon, and we'll have a toast. So keep hold of those glasses. We'd also like to invite up the Proyecto team, Eduardo Guerrero, Beatriz León, and Alejandro Tobaoda, who will give, oh yes, of course, who will give the keys over to Father Eduardo Gil in this moment.
Here is the key. I don't know which is the door, but here is the key. Okay, I will be very short, but as I was hearing all the presentations, I thought about the reality. We are, as a congregation, as a spiritual family, Legion of Christ and Regnum Christi, we are newcomers to Holy Land. We are newcomers to Israel. We have been only for 15 years here, and we were sent here by providence through the desires of the Holy Father. And Saint John Paul, he sent us on a mission for the Pontifical Institute of Notre Dame. Pope Benedict blessed the stone, and Pope Francis blessed the tabernacle. And here we have the Apostolic Nuncio, the Apostolic Administrator, remembering us that we are just a simple part of the church, and we are here to serve the church. And that's very important. And being newcomers, we have to think of all, I think you mentioned 40 congregations, and I don't know how many institutes. We have to thank them because they have been here for centuries, and we have to thank all the Catholic Church. Could never thank enough the Franciscans for all the time they have been here. So Father John was telling that Brother Rafael, he is his teacher about how caring for holy places, for Holy Land. And Emilio, he won't remember me, but in 2008, you were the guide for my family when I came here. So it's a service of faith and love, hospitality that we are learning. So I'm very happy to be here on behalf of the Legionaries of Christ, and I have to thank the dreams and strength and will of Father John and Father Raymond. They have been here for many years, and also the consecrated women. If we talk about Magdala as the bringing the feminine genius to the church and to evangelization, we can never thank enough our consecrated women, especially here Johanna and Alessandra, that have been for many years, but there are many, very many consecrated women that have been here working, serving, and evangelizing. And here is present also the General Director of the Lay Consecrated of Regnum Christi, and Gloria Rodriguez, who cannot be here. She sent her greetings as Director of the Consecrated Lay Women and her prayers. So I want to thank my own people because they have been working a lot here to make this possible. Father John, especially, and all other legionaries and consecrated women. Thank you very much to all, and hereby I declare solemnly inaugurated Magdala.
Now we would like to invite those who would be cutting our ribbon. As we have an official inauguration from Father Eduardo, we would like His Eminence Cardinal Carlos Angelaretes to come and receive their scissors.
Archbishop Leopoldo Girelli,
Father Robles Gil, General Director of the Legion of Christ.
Archbishop Pierbattista Pizzaballa,
The Director of the Migdal Council, Nathanial Alfasi.
Johanna von Siemens, Director of the Consecrated Women in the Holy Land,
Chloe Owen, granddaughter of one of our benefactors, please come forward to help us cut the ribbon for the next generation.
Mr. Luis Sanchez,
Sue Doolin, if you could come and have your scissors ready to cut our ribbon.
Antonio Empeño,
We would like to invite our Magdala volunteer coordinator, Ashley Medford, to come help us cut our ribbon.
and our General Manager, Mr. Alan Winter.
And finally, Father Juan Solana, as Director of Magdala, please cut our ribbon with the rest of us. As the rest of us, too, participate in this beautiful ceremony. One, two. And now we will have Father Juan pop the cork. We can raise our glasses to toast the new Magdala Center. Woo! Here's to Magdala. As you enjoy your champagne, we also have a beautiful cake that will be rolled out that we would like to have some of our representatives cut here in front. It's rather large, so please do stay around and have a piece with us, and we would like for you to also see it. And now we have the beautiful Magdala cake up here in front. If we can have Father Juan, please cut the cake. Thank you so much to our wonderful creative chef. We won't cut the cake until everyone sees it. But we're going to do one more. And as you enjoy the cake, we are going to have our wonderful phonics ensemble play the last piece, which is Haydn's Vavaccia Sai Symphony. But before they begin, we would like to give a few announcements.
Thank you everyone for coming. We invite you to join the cake and the company. Kathleen will give you instructions about pictures in a moment, special pictures which you want with some of our guests and with Father Juan. There is a kosher food corner, Ochel Kosher, Po. Also, our volunteers are waiting over for the south wing to give you a tour. I see Catherine and Devan waving, and others, Lauren, and they're going to guide you to see some of the rooms. Potete vedere le stanze, pueden ir a ver los cuartos, con los voluntarios están allá a la izquierda to see the rooms.
And finally, before we have our pictures, we would like to invite our ensemble to play our final piece. Thank you so much.
Gracias por venir para celebrar con nosotros.
Felicidades, Padre.